Ascension is something that humans have struggled, strived, longed for since the beginning of mankind. Whether you're talking about the story of Eden or you're thinking about the plains of Lemuria, Atlantis, whatever your history, background, your belief system is, humans have always wanted to ascend to the point where that fear of illness, fear of lack, the basic needs that you have as a human drift away. That is what Ascension is doing. It is allowing you to separate from the drudge of humanity. Humanity has wonderful aspects of it that we never see because we are so caught up in the negative, in the fear. So Ascension is about really pulling ourselves out of what the world has told us we needed to be, how it told us we needed to speak and feel and show up. And we recreate ourselves. We get reborn outside of this culture, outside of this society, as a pure being that is now no longer adrift in this world of chaos. Now you get to be in it, but you're not pulled by it anymore. You're not pushed by it anymore. You're free from that which made you suffer. So all through the Ascension process, we've talked about the ancient teachings of Buddha, Mary Magdalene, the Vedas, alchemy, and then the metaphysical world. Each of these traditions has 7 beautiful steps of ascension that they teach. And when you look at those different genres, those different teaching methodologies, and you look at where they overlap, you see that the teachings of Buddha and Mary Magdalene have so many commonalities that it's improbable to say that they're not true, that information didn't come from a higher source. Now, you don't have to believe in God to believe in any of that. The higher source could be the connection to the universe. It could be aliens. It could be anything. The point is, if Buddha says one thing is true, Mary Magdalene says something is true, and then the Mayans in Peru say something is true, you're going to have to look at it a little bit more carefully. So of all the steps of ascension that we've gone through, today is our final step. This is step 7. And the 7th step of ascension is I am. This is the step of ascension where you are now a light body. You have fully gone through your rebirth and your regeneration. If you were a butterfly and you were in the cocoon through all those steps, now you are not only out of the cocoon, you are flying and thriving and dancing on the wind. That is the 7th step of ascension. So today I'm going to talk about each of these 7 steps, or each of these different modalities and what their 7th step is, and then talk about how they overlap. And it's where they overlap that you get the most resonance with that information. You don't have to be Buddhist to resonate with what his teachings are. You don't have to be Christian to resonate with Mary Magdalene, but we all resonate with truth. So I'm going to explore these. I do have the comment section up. If anybody is watching and has any questions, please let me know. Leave your comments. I will be checking them throughout the show. I do get caught up in my PowerPoint. So if I don't check them, I will check them later, and I promise that I will go through and share them with you. All right, let me pull up my slides. So when we talk about these 5 steps and what are 5 different modalities and how they combine, it's very hard not to just accept the truths as self-apparent. So Mary Magdalene talks about balance. Mary Magdalene's wrathful person is talking about not getting locked into an extreme emotion, in this case, anger. Her balances of the emotional nature balance out anger with compassion, anger with love, where Buddhist talks about balance in the mind. So you're balancing out chaos with calm. These two modalities fit together absolutely beautifully. They're talking about the same thing. It's finding that balance to where you're no longer chasing and you're no longer being chased. You just are. You're set. What actually feeds really well into alchemy when it talks about coagulation, the ultimate step in alchemy is gold. You reach the level of gold, the material of gold, which is brilliant and untarnishable. Brilliant and untarnishable. That's exactly what Buddha and Mary Magdalene are talking about. You reach a point where your own beauty of life, your majesty, your own divinity is so apparent, it's untarnishable. The world can no longer affect you the same way because you've found that balance. You've found the perfect point on that seesaw where all sides of the world will just slow down. And that push and that pull won't affect you. Greed and hate won't affect you. So you know how to balance them out. You know how to balance out the emotions. When you start to feel anger, what emotion do you bring up? Compassion, love. When your mind starts to race, you bring it back to calm. You've found the adjacent side of all of these extremes to find that balance, to find that and to create that gold, that balanced, centered self, that light body, which they talk about in alchemy. So spirituality is all about being human. We're spiritual beings having a human existence. And every single time we open ourselves back up to our normal phase, our 0 point, every single time we tap into spirit, open up that crown chakra, we're connecting into our reality of what we are, of who we are. You're allowing that energy to flow into you, which will help you find that balance. Because we feel so grounded into earth that we focus on this. I'm focusing on it. I can feel it. It's hot. It's cold. I'm uncomfortable. When I balance out the material world with the spiritual world, with the universal power, whatever you call that, I have now found my equanimity. I have found my 0 point. I have found the point where I can now be stable and not get shifted around. So what the chakras are talking about with the crown is very much the same thing. Opening up your crown chakra is a tool for finding balance. It's a tool for balancing out the chaos that comes from being on earth. This beautiful transformation is every aspect of who and what you are. The physical transformation through the chakra system, the mental transformation through Buddhism, the emotional transformation through Mary Magdalene, the energy transformation through alchemy, and then the metaphysical transformation through all of the different spiritual genres. Ascension is not one thing, it's everything. Looking at the truths of these different modalities and seeing how they overlap reminds you you are a creator. It is in your power in this lifetime to cleanse your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul. You have the tools to find that balance, to embody your innate power, your innate gift. You are a light being. You don't have to do anything. You are a light being. You are perfect. You are divine. You just have to remember that. These steps will help you get to a point where you remember you had the power the whole time. That Wizard of Oz phrase. You had the power in you the whole time to ascend. All of these teachings are just telling you that same thing from different ways. Find ways to have that balance inside of you, to tap into your home, because you were home the whole time and everyone around you was family. You've been supported the entire journey. You have been loved completely the whole time. It is easy enough to be pleasant when life flows along like a song. But the man worthwhile is the man who can smile when everything dead goes wrong. You are. You are that truth. You're your own truth. Everything there is laid out for you. The universe has created these steps and fed this wisdom down to our ancient ancestors, to beings that we looked up to and we modeled ourselves after for generations, for thousands of years. Take the truths from what they've taught. Take the truths from their messages